Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be about my workflow on Arch Linux. Basically, programming on Linux, the kind of applications or the tools I use on day-to-day basis to make my job possible, and how does it make me more productive than any other developer who doesn't use Linux. Yeah, let me kill this and take this away. This is basically a tiling window manager. As you can see, there's a bar on top which has tags on the left hand side, which acts like a workspace tags. So I could switch to different tags, and I like to be fancy with different tags so that I can have different kinds of applications on each tag. So just of making it more the beautification of it basically. And then I have DWM blocks which shows me the system insights, like what's the weather forecast. I could click on this and then it can fetch it from my one of the websites, www.ttr.in, and I can achieve that just with a curl command as well. If I execute just curl www.ttr.in, it automatically detects my current location and fetches the weather forecast for today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. And then the script takes the maximum of temperature or that entire day, and the breeze, and the precipitation percentage and stuff. Yeah, so that's there. Let me kill that. And this is my newsboard application, which is showing me the number of RSS feeds which I haven't read yet. So let me turn on the screen key maybe, so that could help you see what key combinations I'm pressing. Say for example, I just hit super and enter. That launched the terminal, and I could run neofetch just to fetch in my system details. So this is like Arch Linux which I'm using, and that's my host machine or the laptop which I'm using. And the kernel, which is an LTS version, that is long-term support. I like to be more stable, and I do not want my system to crash every now and then, because it's quite a mission critical machine. I use it for development on day-to-day basis, 24/7 whenever I'm working. And I like to have GSHL, which is just a little more advanced than what you get by default, that is bash. And then that's my system resolution, because I'm using an external monitor attached to my laptop. And as you can see, this is the window manager is DWM, which is a dynamic window manager from Suckless. Suckless is quite known to people who are into Linux or tiling window managers. You might have started your journey as for tiling window managers as i3, but this is more advanced when it comes to DWM, because it kind of works in stacking window manager kind of philosophy, wherein one is a master and another is a slave window kind of stuff. So the more windows you could add, it would make this as a primary master window, and then rest becomes the slave window. And although you could switch, so for example, if I want this to be master window, I would hit super and space, so that would come on top, and then I can work on this one if I want to. And I could run Tmax and whatever applications I want to run. I want to see the logs, and I just want to push this window onto my second tag. So as you can see, I push to my second tag. I can switch to different tags with super 1, super 2, up till 9. And if I want to see all my windows, I would hit super 0, and it will give me everything what I want to see. As you can see, this is there. Then there's two window terminals which I launched. There was some browser, then Kden Live, and then there's FmpEg running to record my video on this cow. Say, let me kill that, and let me go back to tag 1. Yeah, so that's there. Let me kill this. Let me take everything away. Yeah, so that's in short about tiling window managers. Basically, this is to utilize the entire screen space so that you don't lose even a small pixel on your machine. In traditional environment, desktop environments, you might be familiar about floating window managers, which like you could have it open like this, and then you can have more one top of other. And then you would use Alt Tab or Dock, wherein you could switch to different applications. But in here, there is no dock or anything as such for the applications. So basically, you get to see everything into the single UI. but you could use them as a floating window manager as well whenever you want to. Like I'm doing it at the moment, I'm just using the super key pressed and the left mouse click to move it around, and if I use the right mouse click, I can reduce the size, so on and so forth. So let me kill this. Yeah, and then this is basically in short about tiling window managers. And whatever you see out on the screen, these tags, these are all being built using DWM, and DWM is basically written in C language, so it's plain C classes. So if I just take you there to for example the source for the four different components which I used for this complete system: D menu, which I launched by hitting super and D. So all my applications, this is like a start menu in Windows. For example, if I want to launch code, Visual Studio Code, I could type this code and hit enter, and it would launch me Visual Studio Code with my source code, and I can kill it back. This was just for demo sake. And then I have DWM, which is for this entire tiling thing. So I could go to DWM, for example, and by ls, this can show all the files. This is very small source code which is responsible for the entire tiling window manager. And then I on day-to-day basis I play with this config.h. If I have to make change in any bindings, I just go there into config.h, I make a change. For example, I want to use a different color border for this window or anything. I make these changes here, and if I want to have different kind of tags, I specify it here. As you can see, I have 2 lines commented in here, and this is the current one which is active here. Let me maybe I'll do the clean up sometime later. But this is the kind of thing. Undo. Come on. Yeah, so once I'm done doing this change, basically I would just hit or maybe let me show you a quick I wish I could just hit undo, so it's fine. All right, but if I had made any change, then I would do sudo make install, and then I would hit and give my password here. Let me kill the screen key so that you won't get to see my password. That's super secret. Absolutely. So once I have compiled it with sudo make install, as you can see, it all generated the executables and stuff, and it is applicable. And I have let me start the screen key again so that you can see the screen combinations. I would hit super back to launch a script called sysact, and I could do lock my system, leave DWM, renew. So this is what I would do, because I've just recompiled and I want to see the latest application changes reflect. So it basically, whenever it restarts the DWM, so that's why you are getting everything into in here. Let me take this into my another window. Yeah, so that's there. Let me kill this. Let me make it like the way it was. Let me take it to 6th window. I like it to be there, and the movies or stuff, I take it to my 6th, which is on the video, and this probably on my 5th. Yeah, let me kill this again, and this again would go to 6, which is here, and this to my 9th, which is for the browser. Yeah, this is the kind of setup I like to have. My browsers here, my music, Spotify things would be here. The download, I will use this for download. So if I hit super F6, it would launch a transmission CLI application, and this is an NCurses application basically for my torrents download and stuff. So I use it on day-to-day basis. I download lots of torrents in here. Nobody cares. So yeah, and let me get it back. Yeah, as you can see, it's recording my video at the moment. This is at 60 frames per second. That's something which is going on, and that's Kden Live, by the way. I use it for my video editing and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much, and I think I can show you DWM blocks as well. That's something which again comes with scripts written in C, and then I also use systray, which is for GUI applications, or the applications which I want to say, for example, screen keys, which I'm using at the moment. As you can see, if I can quit it, then this won't be visible to you, which the combinations which I'm pressing at the moment. Yeah, so let me take you to DWM blocks, for example, like SRC, that's an ADS which takes you to basically my home directory .local src. So I just have this alias which makes my life easy. And let me take you to cd dwm, not DWM, sorry, my bad, cd dwm blocks. That's where I want to show. So here we again have config.h, and basically this is divided into 4 different blocks: icon, command, update interval, and update signal. Yeah, so for example, if I want to look at SB clock, which is status bar clock, it runs every second, and the update signal is again 1. So if there is a change, of course there is a change if I am running it for every second and the clock. That's why you are getting to see this changing every second. That is SB clock. And so is for the SB internet. So it is getting refreshed every 5 seconds. So as you can see the traffic in here. Yeah. Internet traffic, which is getting changed almost every 5 seconds. Maybe I'm mistaken. There is another one for net traffic. Is this one? Maybe this one. This is the one for the net traffic. As you can see, it is running for every second. This is for something else. Yeah, so these are the scripts which are running here. So the ones which are not visible are the ones are marked as commented, or maybe they do not have any dependencies or stuff installed. Otherwise they are all there. So for example, this is SB news. This is responsible to read fetch my unread count of newsbot RSS feed. As you can see, I still have 19 RSS feeds to read from. So if I hit super shift N, then it would launch my RSS feed, and I could go to this newsbot application. If I say for example I want to go to watch Luke Smith's video, I go there, I open his recent video, and if I hit O, it would automatically fetch it from the internet, from the YouTube application. It would give me the video in a while, and it should start any second, and I would be able to watch that video right here on without opening any browser or anything. Okay, this wasn't a YouTube stream, that's why it didn't launch. Otherwise, if it would have been a YouTube video, it would have launched. Maybe let me take you to a better example. This is again its own website. Okay, probably not the best example. This is his YouTube channel. Let me take you to here. If I hit O here, and it should launch the YouTube video, as you can. Yeah, that's how it works basically, because there is a link handler running in the behind. So whenever it checks that it is a YouTube link, it opens basically in the MPV player. So I get to consume all my YouTube material right here on the terminal with MPV. I don't need to go to a browser, open a website, go to YouTube, and then we see the annoying ads and stuff. That makes life easy, isn't it? And then if I had to search any YouTube video, I would just use UT, for example, Bugs Writer wallpaper. I think I don't have YouTube Viewer installed, but then if I had, maybe let's do that. I might have it uninstalled because I just did some tinkering recently on my machine. Come on, let me kill this so that you don't get to see my password. Alright, yep, I guess I need to set up my mirrors as well. Probably it's not the fastest which I have it at the moment. Alright, it's getting the dependencies it needs. Yeah, so it's installed, and if I do this YT, say Luke Smith DWM. Come on. What did I do last? I did UI. Yeah, I did install that, right? Anyways, I will fix it later. That's not a blocker. But maybe I could show you YTFZF. That's another application which I used on day-to-day basis. I could do the same. Luke Smith DWM video, for example, if I want to. I did just fetch from the YouTube, and it gave me all the result in DWM menu. And if I hit enter, it will just play. Yeah. So that's pretty much, I think, my workflow when it comes to consuming the YouTube or my news feed or the newspapers or whatever material I want to consume. I want to read or watch videos and stuff. Yeah, so that comes from YouTube DL. That's another application which come on. This is YouTube DL. So for example, if I give this YouTube DL a command, a parameter to one particular HTTP URL, then it would download that particular URL, either if it is Instagram or anything else for that matter. It would go there, and if it is possible to download for that particular video, if it is downloadable, it should download. Yeah. If I had to give you an example, maybe I would go here, YouTube. Let me take any damn video. I would just take copy link address. I go back. I would say YouTube DL and give it this, and then hit enter. And it should start downloading right away. As you can see, it's pretty fast. And then if once it's done, I could use MPV, and then I would say custom notification. That's the video name. Yeah. So, and then it gets downloaded, and you could play it and have it in your system if you really don't want to watch live, and if you want to keep things. And I have aliases set, so if I had to download the same video but with audio, so no, this one, so for example this, I could give it a parameter of audio. So I have an alias written for this. I would just do ITA, and it would just download the MP3 version of it. So it's so powerful, as you can see. Sorry, M4A. And if I do just this custom now, so it just played the audio version of it. So that's what it does basically, the YouTube DL. It's really powerful. Its whole purpose is to download YouTube videos and even more. So that's basically about YouTube DL scripts. Maybe I can walk you through the developer applications which I use on day-to-day basis. Say for example, I might have shown you code, which is Visual Studio Code, which I use for my Angular workflow or my React workflow, or my development of that same kind. And I use this terminal, or maybe I use this terminal for running my unit test cases on the side. I could just increase or decrease its size based on how I want it. I don't like to have this come on, let me toggle this. Yeah, I use Control P very often just to open my files. Not this window, I didn't mean to open this. I hit Control P every time, and I just use this, and I open my files and make a change, and I keep it on running mode all the time mostly, and then when I make a change, I see it on the browser here or maybe here. Yeah, whichever place I have it running. Yeah, let me close these. Okay, let me come back. So this is, and the kind of extensions I use are all here, which makes it look good, the code base and stuff. Yeah, so that's about my Angular development IDE. And then I also do .NET development. For that I use JetBrains IDE, which is called as Rider. You might have heard about ReSharper if you are familiar with Visual Studio, which people normally use for .NET development on Windows machines. But since I am on Linux, I choose to go with Rider. That's from JetBrains. It's pretty much replica, a better version of Visual Studio, which gives you static code analysis on the fly, as well as you get to do everything what you could do with a Visual Studio application. So I would just open a demo application there so that I could demonstrate how I work on my .NET Core application in here. So this is a bit pretty basic .NET Core web API, and this is that's launch settings JSON file. If I had to just run the application, I would hit just this play button. It would build the application, and it would launch. As you can see, it launches on HTTPS localhost 5001. It might have launched most probably in here. Yeah, so it's an API for weather forecast. That's a basic boilerplate code, and if I hit execute, it would give me some output. Yeah, so pretty much That's it. I could kill this back. And when it comes to the SQL side of it, if I had to do any SQL development, I would launch my D menu and start Azure Data Studio. That's something which comes from Azure, and I could connect to my all Azure SQL databases, and I could run query in here, like select star from so and so on table. For example, I would just do select systables. I need to be connected to some sort of database first, and I probably won't do. These are all my office stuff, so I would avoid that showing it on the video, but you get the idea, right? So that's with respect to the database. And what else I use on day-to-day basis? I also use Microsoft Teams, which apparently is available on Linux now, and that really makes my life easy. Yeah, so I would kill this, and then as you can see, it maybe I'll move it to another monitor so that you don't need to see my ID and stuff. And then as you can see, I get to see the number of notifications here on Sister as soon as I launch the Teams application. Let me quit this. Yeah, this is what I think makes my workflow complete. The things I use or the applications I use, basically this is what makes me more productive than being on a floating window manager or on Windows machines. I use scripts on my self-build scripts on day-to-day basis. Say for example, I recently built a script called F5CLI. This is basically one of the recent scripts which I have written. Say get there are some functions and stuff, and then when I hit, let me show the demonstration of it. For example, first I just go to D menu, I hit this F5CLI, it asks me for my username. Say for example, I am ABC, and then I enter, then it asks me for my PIN, OTP and password. When I give this and hit enter, it would try to log in, and login in progress. As you can see, this would fail, this login would fail. I know, because I've given it bad credentials, because I didn't want it to show the actual credentials. But this is something which really is amazing. Otherwise I would have to basically live on a very bad script, writing every time whenever I wanted to connect to a F5 Edge VPN, which I use it for my office work. So I just wrote this basic script, and it makes my life easy. I really don't need to write that script every time, because there is no GUI application. Of course, that's the reason I have to heavily rely on this script, because when it comes to Linux, there is not much of development from office side, because they really don't care about the Linux users, to be honest. They primarily do things only for the Windows users. But if you like Linux, you have to spend some time. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. What else on the source side? Yeah, the last bit, that's ST. ST is a suckless terminal, which you can see on the screen here, and I have some patches applied to it, which makes it basically, this is a build from Luke Smith again. I just have a couple of more patches applied to it, just like I did with DWM. I have removed, let me take you to my Git repository maybe, and then DWM, so that I could explain it better. I have some documentation in here. So apart from these like clickable status bar, scratch pad, which comes on mod shift enter, so that whatever you want to do, you do, and then you take it away and you bring it back again. So it's always there, like a drop down terminal. That's what you call it, scratch pad. Then there is true full screen mode. So for example, if there are multiple windows and I just want this to be my full screen, I would hit window F, and then bam, it's like it's on my full screen. There is no bar on top, and this becomes my full screen application, kind of. And then there is more like stacker, shift view, so that I could do super G and can move around different tags. Then there is vanity gaps, which I hate, so I don't use that gaps, as you can see, ideally. Otherwise, if I had to, this would reduce the gap. So if I have multiple applications, this would have some gaps. Maybe I've decreased it to a lot, but I like to keep it like full screen. I want to use the maximum of it. I don't like the gaps personally. Let me kill this. Then there is swallow patch. Yes, that's something. For example, you just want to start code from here, the Visual Studio Code, and probably not the best example, but what else I could show here? If there is something which I want, so for example, newsboat, I just gave that command and that started in here in the terminal itself. It didn't require another terminal to start in. So that's the beauty about swallow patch. And there was one more which was hide backend tags. So the tags which are don't have any applications running can be hidden. But since I wanted to use these beautiful tags, I got rid of that particular patch. I removed it from Luke Smith's DWM build, and I also added systray patch which I wanted to use so that I could have these applications running here and I can see them. I could have Microsoft Teams so that I could see the notifications and stuff and so on. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think, with respect to DWM. And I have a script equivalent to LARBS, which is Luke Smith's auto bootstrap script, which Luke Smith has built, this one, and I have forked this repository into mine. I call it PARBS just for my. That's funny. You copy and then that's the beauty about open source. So you get to copy and you could change it to your taste. And that's the page, github.com prakash2033 / PARBS, and then I have put some screenshots, the ones which I keep on changing and making. Adding stuff on top of it, so I like to keep this updated. So when you have a very basic installed version of what you call Arch Linux, you could just clone this repository and thus run this single command, which is sh for shell, parbs.sh, which is here, and then it would build the entire system, which you can see here right from ground. You really don't need to do any manual anything, nothing of that sort. So it gives you the complete system altogether. Maybe if you want, just put it in the comments. I can make very explicit videos as well, how it can be done from ground. Yeah, so that's something which I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed this video and felt little motivated or encouraged to try Linux and tiling window manager as your full-time development environment. This really makes my life easy, and this makes me more productive, and at the same time I get to learn a lot of things when it comes to Linux, shell scripting and stuff. So thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.